And we're live. Just going to fire up the Facebook. What's going on, Facebook? I got the Facebook, the YouTube, the double stream as always. And I want to talk about today probably one of the more interesting stories of the year outside of politics. And it's actually something that seems to be uniting the left and the right. And this is the type of energy when I've been talking about how optimistic I am about this year, although there's a lot people don't like. This is the type of stuff that I've been looking for. So I'm going to talk about it, explain it the best that I can, and you guys can put in your input as well as what you know. But there's a big stock battle going on and some interesting, manipulation of the market in many ways, which is the GameStop and AMC story. So we're going to wait for everybody to get in, but as people are getting in, so I don't bore you with that, I'll just try to give a quick 30-second breakdown of what it is. And I'm not the greatest at explaining it. And I also have to say, I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, I think that's what people say when they talk about the stock market. I'm not a financial advisor. Please don't sue me, whatever. I'm just here saying what I know and for entertainment purposes only or whatever. I don't know. I think that's like what they say. But anyway, it looks like there was a big hedge fund capital or hedge fund. I think Melvin Capital was one of them or the one where they were betting big against GameStop, short selling a lot of the stocks. If you guys don't know what short selling is, a short sell is when you're betting against it, a short. The whole movie, The Big Short, is kind of about that if you've ever seen it. And a lot of gamers, a lot of people on Reddit, which is an internet site, they didn't like that. So they decided to just buy. And the stock just went through the roof. I mean, it went from like the tens, I think it was at like 17, 20, I don't know, to 300, 350. It's going through the roof. So a lot of random nobodies, and I'm not saying nobodies, but a lot of, people, regular people made a lot of money, and the hedge funds probably lost a lot of money, had to, buy out of their stock. And it's very, very interesting. But I know it's not going to get the most views, maybe, because, a lot of people here like to hear about politics or whatever. But I do think this is something that may be the future as far as how do you get the right and the left to unite? How do we get over this? Half the country split. People fight with each other. This is one of the few things where I see left-wing anon. I'm talking about like Anonymous. If you guys remember that, some big accounts that now look like they lean left. They're into this. Right-wingers are into it. You kind of have a mutual agreement among the people where a lot of people seem to be able to come to the conclusion that Wall Street, screws over America in some senses. And, similar to the stimulus bill where you had left-wing, progressive, liberal, everybody was like, wait, you're giving us $600 and you're sending $500 million to Sudan or $700 million. Something's not adding up here. So this is the type of stuff. It's not going to get as many clicks as the big lie or, a political fear-mongering campaign of such. But I do think it's quite interesting, and I'm going to play some clips. I got a few clips of people talking about it on Squawk Box. I have a clip of somebody talking about it on Fox Business. Charles Payne had a pretty good breakdown of it, so I find it interesting. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll wait about 30 seconds for everybody to get in, and then we'll start. Let's see what we got. Pamela said, I love learning. Thank you. Yeah, and hopefully this puts you on the right direction because I know enough to really explain what's going on, but I'm not the biggest financial wizard as far as what this leads to. I'm not trying to give anyone advice. It's a disclaimer, but it's true. Listen, it's stock market. You buy, it goes up, you sell, you lose, you gain. That's just what it is. Anytime stuff like this is, pumped in a sense, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. So, I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to give people advice, just really report on the situation. And like with everything, you make your own decisions. But let's start it up. Thanks for being here. What happened to my Made in the USA store, said Israel. I'll say it real quick, and then I want to start the thing. It's still going on, usaproductsonly.com. It's live. It's there. But we got thousands of emails. So the reason we launched this so quickly, just to give you a quick brief, usaproductsonly.com. We launched it not filled because we wanted to get your businesses. We got 1,000 businesses, 1,000 emails. We went through every email. We organized it. We reached out to dozens of businesses yesterday, 2 days ago, and we're just filtering, making sure we have the best quality businesses. And if you have your own business that you're able to sell and have so we're working on it. It's just going to take a lot of time because we're going through thousands of emails, thousands of businesses. And within the next year, we're working hard to build the best database of USA products only if you want to buy in the US. So you keep 100% of the profits. We don't touch anything. It's just an aggregate site to send you there. So it's still going, but you can imagine how long it takes to go through 1,000 emails and make sure that, you know, the stuff is good. They are who they say they are. It's made in the USA. We're doing it all. We haven't stopped. I mean, my team's not sleeping. It's just, you know, it's going to take a little bit. So that's what it is. All right. So the story of the day, probably you've maybe heard of it. Some people haven't heard of it at all. I find it to be, although like I said, it's not going to be my most viewed video. It's probably the most interesting story that's happened all weeks outside of politics or inside of politics because of the future of what it really may hold for the finances in this country. And as everybody knows, you know, the whole world runs on money. The whole country runs on money. That's kind of the whole kit and caboodle here. So there was a hedge fund or a capital, I think Melvin Capital. They were short selling. I don't know exactly how much. You'll have to look it up, but they were shorting GameStop. And a lot of the big hedge funds and investors were shorting GameStop. If you don't know what shorting is, shorting means you bet against the stock. If the stock goes down, you make money. If it goes up, you lose money. The whole movie, The Big Short, to me, one of the best movies made in the last decade. In the sense of it's not just something random. It's not just like an action movie. It really kind of shows what happened during the Wall Street crash and puts Wall Street in a bad light. And I think that's appropriate. So I was shocked. I actually saw it at the premiere. My friend knew the guy or whatever. I went to the premiere and I was like, wow, this is actually a really good movie. But anyway, a short is you bet against the stock. So a lot of people were ticked off on Reddit. A lot of these gamers, people who have, you know, big influences on these social media sites, and they looked at it and said, listen, I think the feeling was we like GameStop, but also, you know, we don't like hedge funds trying to destroy businesses. And I'm going to play a clip in a second of Charles Payne from Fox Business, does an even better job of explaining what they do. But a lot of times they bet against businesses, and then you just have this barrage of negative media attention and just barrage of, you know, when they're already struggling, they can probably, if they have enough money, just wipe out a business or lead to its decline. So I think a lot of people on Reddit were like, we don't agree with this. We don't want you to ruin GameStop. And also, you know, you're betting billions of dollars against GameStop. We're going to bet in it. So what they did was they started all these people on Reddit, and now it's gone to Twitter. Elon Musk even tweeted about it and gave it a huge boost. Everybody started buying GameStop, which then rises the price, which then hurts the hedge fund who bet against it. So I believe I could actually take it up for you if you would like. I could find exactly where it's at so I don't exaggerate, but the GameStop stock is right now it closed at $347, which is crazy because 5 days ago it was at $40. A month ago it was at $17. So it went from $17 to $347. Regular people made a crap load of money. I think the original guy who posted it said he put 50,000 into it. And he's up to, like, in some reports, 22 million. The dude's a millionaire off of just betting against the hedge funds and getting everybody to do it. Crazy stuff. A lot of people made a lot of money. And the hedge funds who bet against GameStop, you could just assume how much money they made. And since I don't know that as much as this guy, I'm going to play Squawk Box real quick, just a clip. He kind of explains he talked to the hedge fund guy and he dropped out of the stock, lost a crap load of money. And it was kind of like the people sticking it to the hedge funds. Crazy stuff, had a huge real world impact. Even more, you know, I think of this as like, you know, or Occupy Wall Street. It was a big left and right uniting movement against Wall Street. It fell apart. This is like even more valuable, or I would say more influential than Occupy Wall Street, because you're not just sitting in New York City. You're actually, you know, manipulating the market in some sense, which is what they do. And once again, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not telling what people to do, not to do. I don't know if it's right or wrong, ethical or not. I'm just saying that's what's happening, and I'm reporting on it. I just have to say that because I don't want to get bought by like the SEC or something for trying to report on this. But here's a clip of them kind of explaining what happened today. Now on what has turned into the soap opera and saga of the markets right now, and that is the story of GameStop. The news to bring you right now is that Melvin Capital Management, this is the hedge fund that had shorted this company that had effectively been attacked by an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock of GameStop along the way. Melvin Capital is now out of the stock. They got out of the stock, from what I understand, yesterday afternoon. I just got off the telephone with Gabriel Plotkin, who runs that firm. They've taken a rather huge loss. I do not have the full number on what that loss looked like.
as was reported yesterday, both Citadel and Point72 have infused something on the order of close to $3 billion into.
So they're reporting on Squawk Box. Once again, people are talking about throwing money. I don't know. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on. So in general, it seems like they lost money, and I'm not quite familiar. You'll have to let me know in the comments. I'm not sure how people know that they're short selling. Maybe they make that public information. Maybe they found it. Some of these places, what they do is pretty public. I don't know. They must have posted it publicly or something where people knew they were short selling it. So they bought a lot, lost a lot of money, got out. Someone in the comments said they think it's a psyop. It's interesting. Listen, I'm not telling people, I'm just reporting on it. It could be a trick. It could not be. Keep an open mind if you know more than me. But I'm going to play what Charles Payne said on Fox Business because I think it was pretty good and it seemed to be pretty pro people. I'm going to play it right now. I wish I could get it louder.
I sent out to my subscribers, and here's the list. The shorts, first of all of this nonsense, all of this noise, all of this whining about Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. I didn't hear one person on TV complaining about Wall Street trying to crush GameStop.
So I'm going to pause it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. I know it's quiet. I can't get it louder. But in general, he's saying, listen, there was like a huge amount of people shorting GameStop, pretty much betting against it. And he said, you guys complain when the people make money. You guys complain when the people manipulate the stock market, but you never complain when the hedge funds manipulate the stock market. They did the same thing to destroy the company, and I've never heard anything about it. So I'm gonna keep playing it. Just give me a thumbs up. I want to make sure you guys can hear Charles Payne. All right, cool. You guys can hear it. Perfect. Here you go.
Wall Street trying to crush GameStop, 140% short. I told my subscribers buy this stock, and they made a fortune. I also told them buy Virgin Space and Virgin. We took profits on that today. That's up huge. Andrews is up huge. Now, you can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of the stock, and nobody says anything. Crush these companies into the dirt, and then when the individual investor makes money, everyone's up in arms. Oh, they're going to lose their shares. Don't you think people are trading? If they're trading 80 million shares today, people are ready to register. I have a kid who bought a house. He made $50,000 and bought a house. So yeah, some people are going to lose and some are going to win. But if they want to change the rules of the game now because the general public is making money after decades of the shorts crushing thousands of stocks into the dirt. I've watched stocks being crushed completely to zero.
All right, so I guess YouTube could hear, Facebook couldn't hear. I'll just sum it up for you. I apologize if you couldn't hear it on Facebook, but Charles Payne on Fox News, he was basically saying all these hedge funds, a lot of these big wigs, they're really upset and they're talking about changing the rules. This can't happen again. And even, I saw this morning because I logged into Robinhood early. I was up early. It wasn't working. You couldn't really buy and sell for a while. A lot of people were having problems with the app. My question was that, the servers couldn't handle it, a random error that they've had because they've had errors before this year, or were they just trying to stop people from pumping the stock and buying it, because they were threatened because they held big positions on it? This is an interesting question. I don't know which one it is, but it is very sketchy that they made it harder to buy today. And what Charles Payne was saying was, all these big wigs that are complaining, he never hears them complain when they make billions of dollars. He never hears them complain when they manipulate essentially the stock market with big shorts and big buys and, all sorts of tricks to crash, a business for their own financial benefit. So he's sticking up for the little guy and saying, you guys have a problem now. Why? Because regular people are making millions of dollars and the billionaires are losing money. So it's almost like the opposite. Usually they are the ones just making billions and billions and the average person doesn't know how to invest. And now it seems like they lost a lot of money and the average person is making a fortune. So I don't know that this is sustainable. I looked up the laws of pumping and dumping because I was just interested. Apparently there are legal things with pumping and dumping. If you lie or mislead about a stock and you try to get a lot of people to buy it and then you sell and make money off the buy, that's technically illegal. But if you tell the truth about a stock and you say honestly and you just keep it real and then a bunch of people buy it, I don't think it's against the rules. So technically, I think this is legal, although there's people like Chris Hayes and other media people trying to say, SEC, look at this. I'm sure they're going to take a look at it. They might change the rules to benefit themselves, but As of now, I'm not sure that it is illegal as long as you're being honest about why you're buying and selling. But it's very interesting stuff. And not only is someone said they're trying to censor people now that are outsmarting the hedge funds, and I think that's what's happening. And in general, I can't speak on this for certain, but because everything is done so digitally, they say, at least I heard, the average sale is like 8 seconds, buy and sell. Things are being done quickly, and I personally believe, and I think at a certain point they've been caught with it. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, and I like to speak and be honest, so I tell you when I don't completely know. But I remember hearing something about just computers where they buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. They're figuring out every way to, gain money and game the system when it comes to day trading. But when people do it themselves and do similar stuff, it seems like they get ticked off. And now people are pumping AMC and other stocks as well. If you go to Twitter or, find one of these more stock groups, they'll tell you about all the stocks they're buying. They're trying to buy stocks that have big short sells. So any hedge funds or any big groups that are shorting the stock, betting against it, now you have the online community trying to buy and raise the price. So the hedge fund lose money, they gain money. And one of the other big stocks right now is AMC, which recently, this is from Market Watch. I have the article here. It says, trading frenzy into AMC stock may stave off bankruptcy, but cinema operator still faces years of recovery. So, of course, AMC has been doing terrible because, they've shut down almost every movie, outdoor, indoor, whatever. The indoor, you can't see a movie anymore. So I'm sure they're struggling, but this is a 5-day. 5 days ago, AMC Entertainment Holdings, Inc., which is New York Stock Exchange AMC, it was at $292. And today it got to $19.90 before $19.90 before the market closed. Of course, it's down now. Will it go up? Will it go down? I don't know. But here's something interesting about AMC. Maybe GameStop was fun for people, and this is fun. I looked up, AMC, I believe, is owned by Wanda Corporation. They're I guess, a minority shareholder in AMC Theaters, but that is owned by Wanda Group, or the Dalian Wanda Group, is a Chinese multinational conglomerate founded in Dalian, Liaoning, headquartered in Beijing. So I'm not so bullish about the AMC. No disrespect. God bless my Chinese brothers and sisters. If you watch this in China, I don't know if they even let you with the internet ban, but it doesn't. I'm not talking about ethnically. I'm just talking about in general. It is interesting that there's a huge stake of AMC owned by China. So I'm not that interested in pumping this stock for them in general. But as far as American-made companies, or I'm not trying to pump this one. But I know a lot of people are, and in general, I'm not pumping anything. I'm not a big mover on Reddit. I'm not in any of these communities. I'm just saying I like the GameStop one. This one, we'll see what happens. Interesting stuff. But that's the gist of it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But the whole, at least as it looks like the little people, us, the peasants, the plebs, with Robinhood accounts and little Charles Schwab investors, whatever it is, these new ways that made it way more accessible to trade. It used to be a lot harder. Now you could do it at the click of a button. Figured out a way to really, in some ways, combat and compete with the hedge fund managers and the hedge fund billionaires. And when they bet against a company that we like, or they like, people can en masse make them lose a lot of money and gain a lot of money. I don't know where this leads. A lot of the mainstream media, I've been listening to it all day because I find it fascinating. They're trying to say, we're not concerned about the hedge funds. We're concerned about you. We don't want you to buy into one of these companies and lose a lot of money. And in one sense, I don't believe them at all. I think they're way more concerned with the billionaires and the hedge funds, and they don't like the fact that people are outsmarting them. But on the other hand, I do slightly agree, because if you buy into, and this is just an example, I don't know what's going to happen. GameStop could go up to 1,000. It could go down to 10. Anything could happen. I don't know for sure, but people could buy into it at 347, and then it could go down to 34, and you could lose, 10 times your money, or it could go up times 2 or times 3. So I get what they're saying. Yeah, the little person could lose money, because if you're, hopping on a moving train, it could just go backwards. And I would guess eventually it will go backwards, just off of this massive, pump scheme going on the internet. But I don't know that I'm concerned about that for people, but I don't really know that the media is really that concerned. I think they're just kind of ticked off that people are being successful. But, I don't know. They don't seem that concerned when people's mental health is declining and there's the suicide rates going up, and they play politics with the lockdowns. They implode the economy. People's 401ks go down the tube. They didn't seem that concerned about it then. They don't seem that concerned about kids going back to school. We tried to show them the science. A lot of these big channels and people that are honest on the left and the right, for months, we've had the data on how kids are affected by coronavirus, and they didn't want to listen to the science and the data until Biden got into office. And as soon as Biden gets into office, now the CDC says, oh, it's time for everyone to go back to school. What new information did they get? I mean, we've had this. You could follow Rand Paul or other doctors. And I'm not saying Rand Paul's like the biggest doctor in the world, but there have been a lot of data on how kids aren't that affected. And they didn't care. They only care when Biden's in office. So the point I'm getting to is, how much do they really care about you losing money, and how much do they care about their own pockets? And, if you lose billions, you lose trillions, you lose mental and physical health, I don't think they care. The second they start to do it, the second that their big hedge funds and their friends start to lose millions upon billions of dollars, there's a chance that the SEC or the big wigs could step in. But I think it's very important to highlight this, and then I'm going to read some comments. It's very important to highlight because to me, the future is owned by doers, not by talkers. It's nice to talk. I'm lucky to be able to do it for a living, but I don't just talk. I also edit and really calculate and do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of more work than just talking that goes into this. But in general, actions will decide America's future. It just will. While everybody's speculating on the internet, there's people moving and shaking trillions of dollars, wars, all this. They know what they're doing. They're thinking long term, even with these shutdowns. Like I said on Twitter today, isn't it interesting that as soon as AI and computers are taking over society, like this was already happening. Elon Musk and all these big wigs in tech were telling you, you're going to get replaced with computers and AI. And his theory is, you have to merge with it, which is scary and frightening, but that's just his perspective. I'm not saying he's right, but the point I'm saying is AI and computers were already taking over jobs. People were already starting to work from home. You had Uber Eats, which would pretty much, take a job, give it to that. Computers and AI have integrated itself into every part of our life already. And as that's happening, they've conditioned us to be afraid of human interaction. People are afraid of humans now. So now they're just green lighting all these new robotic things like, oh, Sophia will save your life, the robot, but don't see your grandma. Do people really think this is random and coincidental? Am I a conspiracy theorist for suggesting that this is all happening? I don't think it's random personally that they're making people afraid of their own shadow and their own family while they're already replacing and already had plans to replace you with computers. This doesn't sound, this isn't random. Like these type of people are thinking 30 steps ahead. So we, the people, we have to stop running in circles around left and right, Trump and Biden. I get it. Pick your guy, vote for him if you want, try to influence policy, stand your ground and stand for the Constitution. I get all that, but in order to really win, I think the future, there has to be a bigger game that's played. And that's why I told people this year, pay attention. Don't be ignorant, and feel free to stand up for your rights and vote for people or start a political movement. But don't, if you want to, help yourself, I think, and I'm only one person, but don't just run in circles around these, oh, well, he's giving money to Central America. Yeah, I get it, but so did Trump. So we have to come left and right and say, this is what they're doing. Wall Street, this is what they're doing. Both Pelosi and McConnell. That's the only way forward. And also just doing stuff on your own, actions over words, and not just getting caught like the carrot dangled in front of your face where you're just running all the time. And these politicians just play ping pong left and right, just back and forth, this guy to that guy, it's all a big show. So this to me is such a huge move because whether it's a psyop or not, whether it's a ploy, I think it seems pretty organic myself. And I think it's like, okay, this is both sides of politics coming together and putting their finances towards something they believe in and completely changing the dynamic of the financial system. I think that's enormous. And I think that's what it's going to have to be. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not involved in this scheme. I'm just learning about it like everybody else. But the future is going to, be of people who know how to change the system with their money. A physical protest is great, but I would say a financial protest is even a bigger deal. That speaks volumes. You go out and scream in front of Wall Street, they hear you, they see you, they don't like it. But eventually they can just get the police to wipe you off the street and then move on to the next theory or, thing. This they know about, their pockets are just completely being affected by this. So it speaks very loudly. I think it's a very important thing to look at. It's not going to get the most views. A lot of politicians and political people aren't even going to talk about it. But perhaps this is one of the biggest things that has happened all year, because it's not just a left to right. I'm voting. I'm here. I'm angry. I'm this. I'm that. I want my guy in office so they can do the $1 trillion package just like the other guy can do. Yeah, they'll protect some of your freedoms. But at the end of the day, in March and April, all 50 states complied to the lockdown. So how much are they really just not working together in unison? Point I'm getting to, big deal, huge deal. People should look at it. And this is the type of stuff, I'm not justifying it, saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is the type of stuff that really speaks volume. Someone said, why am I not talking BlackBerry? Like I said, there's other stocks people are doing. BlackBerry's one. I saw XSPA is one of them. This is not my movement. This is not me telling people to do anything. I'm just reporting on it. I understand now they're expanding. Like I said, go to Reddit, go on Twitter. You can find there's multiple stocks people are betting on to bet against the hedge funds and stuff. I can't cover everything. I'm just trying to give people a brief overview of what people are doing. I know BlackBerry is one of the other stocks, and then you can go learn more. I'm not the be all end all. I just want to open the door for people. And I've learned all day. That's why I know as much as I'm saying now, because I spent all day just kind of watching videos, researching. It's interesting, and it's going to go way further than other stuff. Someone said, I don't want to have to talk about this every time because people get annoyed, but I saw multiple comments. Do you believe in Q? What about Q? What I'm talking about is a real movement of left and right financial, changing the system with a click of a button. That's the type of stuff that's going to unite the left and right. That's the type of stuff that's going to speak to these people. Hallucinating that Trump is the secret president for 3 more months and saying that he's going to get in office in March, that you're not doing as much as you think I'm doing. So do I believe in an anonymous message board that hasn't posted in 2 months that told me that Trump was going to save the world? No, I think it's been ridiculous the entire time. Some of it's real. Human trafficking is real. Child trafficking is real. But to the extent that Q says, as far as like, well, it's real, so we have a secret military. No, that's the carrot dangling in front of your face. Join a real movement that actually does something. Don't just run in circles chasing your tail for 4 years. You know how many hundreds of messages I got being like, I fell for that for 3 years. I'm so embarrassed. I wasted so much time. No, I'm talking about something that actually matters right now. I don't want to talk about the same thing over and over, but that's going to get views. The con artist who says, guys, Trump's going to get inaugurated in March. You're going to watch it every day for 4 months. It's going to get 200,000 views a pop. And then in March, they're just going to move the goalposts again. It's the same thing. It's just like Fauci. As soon as you accomplish the goal that the Democrats tell you, they move the goalpost. It's an insane game for the left and right, folks. They know a trap to keep everybody complacent. At what point do you realize they said wear 2 masks? Now, and then they say wear 2 masks. 2 masks is better. Here's a simple question for anybody that's liberal. If 2 masks was really better than 1 mask, how come they didn't tell people to wear 2 masks in May, June, July, August? That would have really stopped COVID, right? If it's really the solution. And also, why not just make 1 mask that's 2 times as thick, that's equivalent and longer than 1 mask? Why wouldn't they just make a mask that fits? They're lying to you, and it's sick and evil. Either they lied before or they're lying now. Pick one. One time they're lying or the other. If that were the case, they'd have masks that were 2 times as thick, or they would have told you it then. They're moving the goalposts, and left-wingers follow them like a carrot dangling in front of their face and say, oh, I'm trusting the experts. No, they're dangling a carrot in front of your face on a stick. So every time you take a step, the carrot moves because that's the show. It's the same thing with the Q to the right wing. It's a carrot in front of your face to tell you that you shouldn't do anything or everyone's going to save your life. Hundreds of years of banking and mistakes are going to be saved by the military in a secret inauguration. It's a non-existent, just like the other 20 goalposts and deadlines they gave you that never happened. Stop. This is a real movement, folks. That's why I'm excited to talk about it. I don't want to chase a carrot like everybody else. You get what I'm saying? This is actually exciting. This is actually interesting. The left is in on it. The right is in on it. The progressives are in on it. The right wingers are in on it. Everybody sees that this is an actual way to put some pressure, whether you love it or hate it, on the hedge funds and the billionaire class. So this is the type of thing that's going to move the needle, not following a carrot, whether you're left wing or right wing. That is the trap. All right, read a few comments. Someone said 3 masks is a no for me. It doesn't. Yeah, at a certain point, it's like how much of it's going to block the air. But I know how they like to censor. If that was really the science, what changed from then to now? They're a sick cult in a way. They're just seeing what they could get away with. How dumb are people? Oh, let's open up now. What really changed? Gavin Newsom, he moved the goalposts. He said, instead of following the guidelines I followed in December to close California, I'm going to follow a new set of rules I made up about where we speculate that the hospitalizations will be in February or something. I mean, it's unlimited tricks. It's like a magician. The best way to win is to stop playing these games, whether you're left wing or right wing. And to me, this is like one of the biggest movements I've seen since Occupy Wall Street that not only unites the left and the right, but actually does something. It's not just running in circles around Republicans and Democrats who sell your money to Sudan and Israel. This is like a big deal. Someone said, thank you for being a centrist. You're welcome. I don't know if I'm a centrist. I have my political perspective. In some ways, I think economically, I'm probably further right than a lot of Republicans in the sense of I don't think they're conservative enough. But in general, when it comes to things like this, I try to be a straight shooter. Listen, I have friends that are Bernie progressives. We don't agree on a lot of stuff, but in a weird way, the last couple of months kind of brought us together because you see this political circus. You see the fact that, a lot of people thought Trump was going to exit with a big boom and he didn't really do anything. It kind of brought us to this point where like, okay, both parties are socialists. I don't agree with what they're doing, but they're just sending money all over the place. In a weird way, it brought us to the point where we're like, man, this is such a joke. It's such a circus. Now what can we do? Okay. How can we work together to actually solve something? And this is what the politicians are great at. They give you these characters, but they're not really soulful people. If there was a soulful right winger and a soulful left winger who had these different policies, but actually cared, you could come to a conclusion. So when I talk to my progressive friends, one of the guys who makes my beats, Morgoth Beats, he's pretty big in the heavy metal world and he's a good hip hop producer too. He's crushing it. But he loves Bernie Sanders. When we talk, he agrees with me. If I check him on something, he says, hey, that actually makes sense. I've never thought of that, and vice versa. You don't have people like that in politics. If you had an honest progressive and an honest right winger, you would actually be like, hey, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, you don't have to cave the knee to something that doesn't make sense. But if you're not a complete psychopath, you hear something and you're like, well, yeah, okay, I never thought of why my policy wouldn't make. This is not who these people are. They're just playing this circus game, and they're all really being socialists in a sense. When you get $600 and they send trillions of dollars to Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Israel, like name a country, South America, name a country and try to find one they're not sending your money to. That's the big game. They're not even remotely trying to help people. There's probably a way to actually make a legitimate healthcare system if they wanted to. I agree with progressives in the sense if you could send trillions of dollars to Afghanistan, why can't you do a better job with healthcare? What the progressives don't understand is the more that Democrats say they're helping, the more they steal. They should be able to do it. They should be able to fund it. But when they say they're helping, they just take my money. Let me help you by taking $4,000. Let me help you by taking $20,000. Let me help you by taking 45%. How are you helping me? Now I have no money left. Now I can't take care of my health. That's not helping. That's what the progressives don't get. But if we can talk properly to each other and get outside of the trap and focus on things like this, I think we can really move the needle. That's why I'm kind of excited about this year. I don't have a face that I think is on my side. Trump, for 4 years, I thought was on my side. And in many ways, he was. In many ways, he did things that other people wouldn't do, even though he didn't go as far as I thought and other people thought. But Biden is perfect for what the government really is. There is no face that says make America great again. It's just Joe Biden, the potato plastic bag or paper bag guy who just, he's as empty, and Kamala is as empty as the government is. So, it's a perfect face. Maybe now we can come together, the left and the right, and say, there is no more Bernie or, Trump characters that are like luring us into thinking that they're going to do something special. It's just Biden. He's perfect. It's like, yeah, that's when I think of the US government and how corrupt they've become, that's a perfect face. It's like, very fitting. So maybe someone said Patriot Party. I'm not interested in the Patriot Party. I'm just not. I think it's going to be the same GOP and Trump grifters who care more about their ego and care more about their their public persona than they care about actually, doing anything. It's like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm not interested in the Patriot Party. I'm way more interested in what happened today. I think this is 20 times as impactful as anything the Patriot Party is going to do. They're just going to carry over the same GOP Trump policies, call everybody rhinos, and not even understand the mistakes that were made in the last 4 years and why things didn't get accomplished. I have no interest in the Patriot Party. But to each their own, That's just how I feel. Someone said, vote for Jesus any chance you get. You could write in Jesus Christ on your ballot, but I don't know, I don't know how many votes he'll get. And if Jesus wins the election, I don't know, is that how he comes down? He's like, hey guys, I got enough votes. He's like, here I am. Sorry I took so long. You're like, oh, we've been waiting for you. I don't know if that's how it works, but you could try. Someone said climate change equals taxes, disaster. They're definitely going to use the climate change angle for more wealth extraction. It's a perfect way to dupe the left. And to anybody who's following me that's progressive or liberal, I used to love climate change and watch Leonardo DiCaprio documentaries. I've been there. I get it. I care about the environment. I don't like the plastic. If you really want to talk about pollution, what is more damaging to our oceans than all these masks? These recyclable masks that nobody's recycling, just throwing all over the place. They're all over the ocean. It's disgusting. So to me, a real environmentalist, clean the air, clean the water, clean the oceans. None of what we do. Los Angeles, San Francisco, we're environmentalists. Let's change yourself to change the world. Let's look at your own environment. Let's look at San Francisco. It's disgusting. Let's look at LA. It's disgusting. These people are hypocrites. They can't even clean their own neighborhood, let alone the ocean, let alone the country. These people are pathological liars who just steal your money. Oh, climate change, steal your money. We're environmentalists, steal your money. Clean up your own environment. If you can't clean up Skid Row, how in the world are you going to clean up anything? These people are idiots. Anyway, people need to wake up to this because in a way, I'm going to read the super chat and then I'm going to get back to it. Someone said, appreciate your honesty. Keep up the good works. Dems need to take another look at Tulsi Gabbard as a conservative. I vote for her. She's got some policies that are left wing, but I will say this. If her and Rand Paul, I'd rather Rand Paul be at the front because Rand Paul and the Fed, I would like to see a Rand Paul Tulsi Gabbard ticket. But here's the thing. A lot of people hate on Tulsi because she's too far left. And in some ways I agree, but I don't think she really is. Honestly, I think she's leaving her position because she doesn't actually believe any of these Democrat things. So I think you'll see her slide more to the right when she leaves office. But who knows? It could be a trap. Desert Maid said, during Occupy Wall Street, they used identity politics to divide us. And now people are realizing who the enemy is and pushing back. Hedge funds deserve this. I made way more than both my stimulus checks on AMC today. Well, Desert Maid, congratulations. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling people to do anything, but congratulations on making money. That's great. Holly said, please talk about HR1. This is serious. Give me a second. To finish what I was saying before the super chats, thank you. I know progressives think that climate change is the big kit and caboodle, but if you look at who's funneling money into it, it's all of these people you hate. It's the Jeff Bezoses. How much did he spend on climate change recently? I'm gonna put it in real quick. It was the other year. Jeff Bezos spends climate. I'll find the exact number so I don't exaggerate. On Monday, Jeff Bezos, this was last year at some point, he's spending almost 800 million, 791 million on climate action. Jeff Bezos. You think Jeff Bezos really cares about the carbon in the air? Maybe that's like his big thing. But a lot of this stuff is wealth transfer. A lot of this stuff is they talk a big game, they funnel money, they do all sorts of regulations, they kill jobs, they kill industries. And the temperature is not going to change a single degree because they're not. It's the same with COVID. Yes, COVID is a virus. Yes, it's bad. But are you following the science that tells you who's at risk and who's not? Are you following the science of masks? You're so good at science, but you don't even know how many masks to wear. You change it from don't wear a mask to wear one mask to wear two or wear three. Did the science change of masks? Of course not. They're full of crap. It's the same with the climate stuff. So a lot of progressives are going to fall for this. Biden's going to play into it. All the Bernie people are going to be like, woo, and they're not going to change anything. Yes, the climate is changing. Absolutely, every cause has an effect. But if you really want to understand the science of the planet, Look into all the things they'll never talk about. In a lot of places that the glaciers are melting, there's active volcanoes under the glaciers. The Jacobshavn Glacier, I think it's in Greenland. It's supposed to be the world's fastest melting glacier. It was growing for 3 years and they couldn't figure out why. Of course, they're going to overhype everything. Of course, the climate's going to change. It might get extreme for a little bit, but they're just funneling money in the Paris Climate Accords and such, telling you that they're going to change the temperature of the planet. Whether you believe in God or not, hopefully you liked my earlier video today, but what about volcanoes? Do you really think that you're that important? The same people say, oh, a meteor could kill us at any point. What about an active volcano? What about a storm, a flood? There's certain things that are out of your control. And in general, the earth tends to correct itself. So if you try to play God, like Bill Gates and Harvard trying to block the sun, look up reports on that, there's going to be consequences. You're probably going to pay for trying to block sun rays more than what we're actually doing. If you really want to protect Mother Nature, clean up the ocean, which we're not doing, clean up the air, and clean up the water, which we're not doing to that full extent. So you care about Mother Nature, clean up Los Angeles and San Francisco. There's going to be impact. But anyway, point I'm getting to is we have to figure out a way to come together like this, and they're going to have every trick under the sun to try to pull the left away and the right away. So to me, this is probably the biggest thing that's happened this year. To actually unite both sides and actually do something. These ideas of waiting till March for the secret inauguration, I mean, come on, this is stuff for children. This is, go to sleep and, the tooth fairy is going to come give you money or something. I mean, that's even more believable than this. The Mueller report, as foolish and goofy and exaggerated as that was, actually made more sense than the idea that Trump is going to secretly take the inauguration. That's called, you don't want to believe that Trump lost. You wished Trump did more, like I did. But instead of letting it go like an adult and saying, he didn't do what I thought he was going to do at the exit, you say, what if I hallucinated for 2 months with a bunch of other people who are pretty much mentally ill at this point and just pretended like and watched channels that told me that Trump was going to be there in March. And as soon as he doesn't, they're going to move the goalposts and make up a whole new fake theory and say, actually, I was wrong. The military is going to do it in October. They've done this for 4 years. I've watched them do this since 2017, 18. They moved the goalposts 50 times already. People really don't get it at this point. What is that doing? It's stopping you from saving your country, stopping you from realizing it's a two-party trap, stopping you from realizing that Republicans are just as in with Big Pharma and the lockdowns as Democrats, just slightly better with the lockdowns. With Big Pharma, they're all in on it the same, including Trump. Mr. Operation Warp Speed, I rush Moderna faster than anybody. That's going to save you from Big Pharma? I don't really think so. But in general, this is the big shebang to me. Left and right, doing something, financially doing something to the point where it moves billions of dollars. Very interesting start. I'm not saying I'm for it or against it for legal reasons, and in general, I don't really know the full extent of what's going on, but I do think that this type of stuff, letting your money speak, is going to have a way bigger impact than even in-person protest. I'm going to read 2 super chats. Desert Maid said, during Occupy Wall Street, they used identity politics to divide us, and now people are real. Oh, yeah, I already read that. But yeah, of course, they're going to do that with this. It's the white supremacists. It's the right. They know every trick under the sun. Don't fall for it. Narrowgate said, y'all can have this world. I'm done with it and all the lies and deception. I am voting again. The election was rigged. And like you say, we've been in communism the last 10 months and we ain't going back. Come, Lord Jesus. I like that attitude. I do want to say this too. On my website, USA Products Only, I'm going to update because I have this video section. I'm going to share it on Facebook and Twitter today. It's a top 10 videos, my videos of the week. I haven't updated it. I have 10 videos. I'm going to share them with you because there's a lot of cool stuff that I've saw this week that I want you to see. And the number one thing that's going to be on there, maybe not the number one, but what I'm about to talk about is a lawyer went over the Dominion case. So if you guys know, Dominion sued Rudy Giuliani for $1.3 billion and Dominion sued Sidney Powell for $1.3 billion. It's very interesting because it's a pretty much unbiased, lawyer going through the case and actually reading it. And what I found interesting about it, and I'm going to show you the video so you can see it for yourself, is that essentially what Rudy Giuliani was telling us was not what he was telling the courts. So he might be in a little bit of trouble. He might not. He might have discovery and have a way out. But he was telling us, and Sidney Powell, Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, we have proof that it changed all these votes. Sidney Powell said millions of votes. to the courts and the stuff that they were actually filing in Pennsylvania and stuff, they didn't say anything about that. They were talking about, the paper ballots and what they had proof of, like, people in the rooms getting kicked out and such. So their mouth was moving way bigger than their lawsuits were. And then, he's selling cigars and selling all this stuff in his thing while he's saying this stuff that he can't really prove. Now he's going to get to go to courts and prove it. But I'm not saying, I think election fraud and paperback ballots and machine ballots, it's all suspicious. The way they stopped the election, obviously suspicious. I thought Trump had it in the bag. It looked like it was like 2 seconds from being over and they paused the vote. I don't disagree with that. However, what I'm saying is don't get caught in these political schemes, because what Rudy Giuliani was telling everybody to the public was not the same of what he was filing in the courts. And that's why he's getting sued. Because if he felt as confident of what he was telling all us not to believe, he would have probably filed it in some sort of lawsuit, but I don't know that he did. So we'll see how good his court case is now, because Dominion is taking him to the cleaners. And I want you guys to see that video, because I know what you think, because you listen to Trump and Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani. But if they felt so strongly about it, why were they telling us all these huge bombshells that they never dropped? And then in the courts, they were doing the basic stuff that we already know, like the paper ballots and people getting kicked out of the rooms, the election watchers. Really interesting stuff. And, in one way, I think I understand why people wouldn't vote. It's BS. I mean, neither party really does that much. In another way, I do feel like the Republican Party's in shambles. 50% of the people don't even trust the machines and stuff. And you're listening to people like Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani, who are about to show everything that they truly have, because they're in court for $1.3 billion. So if you want to know how honest Rudy was being and how honest that Sidney Powell was being and how much proof they have about all the claims they made with the machine votings, keep an eye on that lawsuit, because you'll figure out just how much they know and just how much they were bluffing. And I'll share that link on Twitter and Facebook today. I have a top 10 section on my USA products only for videos. And this is exactly why I watch all these videos. I learn a lot during the week, and I want to not only what I do in my live streams, obviously I play clips and stuff, but I want to show you the coolest videos I watch every week. So, you could watch it as well. Someone said, what about Lin Wood? Listen, I don't want to weigh in on his work in the courtroom. I think in the courtroom, he has a great track record. As far as him diving into conspiracy theories, I don't think he's very accurate, and I'm not saying that to smear him like, oh, conspiracy theory. No, a lot of conspiracies are real. We talk about them here all the time, but I don't think Lin Wood has discernment. I've watched him share multiple, he said blackout imminent, he shared the Pakistan blackout, the Vatican blackout, and then basically was trying to tell people that we were going to have a blackout because there was going to be an emergency broadcast that Trump shared, which doesn't even make sense. It was never, he's like a boomer who just figured out how to use 4chan or something and believes every single thing he reads on an anonymous message board or something. He's a great lawyer, but as far as a truth teller, he's not really one. He says truth, I'm the truth. But how many fake articles has he shared? I've caught a few. I've caught him sharing a fake conservative Beaver article saying that the Vatican the Pope got arrested. That was a fake article from a hoax website that is known for pushing conservative hoaxes. It's so blatantly obvious. I knew it the second I saw it, and he posted it to millions of people. He posted a fake Nancy Pelosi photoshopped letter to Ted Wheeler, which was so embarrassingly fake that I think a 17-year-old probably could have figured it out in 30 seconds. He posted it thinking it's real. So in the courtroom, I think he does a good job. But as far as, I don't like the fact that he says truth, I'm the truth, I speak the truth, it's all about God, I'm the truth. If you're going to do that, speak the truth. If you're going to say truth, God, and then just constantly fall for hoaxes and spiral people's mental health because you're telling them to be prepared for Trump emergency blackouts and Pope arrests that never happen, who are you really? What's your intentions? Or are you just a boomer with an internet connection who just doesn't know how to tell the difference between something real and something not? But yeah, I mean, in his personal life on Telegram and on Parler, I can't say I'm very impressed because he mixes, it's like with the Q stuff. He mixes a lot of things that are real and true. So people get lured in, and then he mixes it with a bunch of things that are completely fake. So people they get attached to the fake stuff because they're attached to the real stuff. Q showed people human trafficking. So people said, oh my God, I love this because he showed me these things I never knew about. And then he just started saying, trust Ray, trust Sessions, this, that, all these things that are fake. So people don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know why Lynn's doing it or the Q people are doing it, but to me, I want no part in it because I respect myself too much to fall for lies. And I'm not this moron who needs like someone to tell me what to think, like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Please let me follow you like Jesus. No, I worship the Lord. I don't worship any of these, bad actors and false prophets. But in general, I do research on my own. So when someone lies 4 times, I'm done listening to them. Shame, you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 5 times, you're a fool. So, have enough respect for yourself to go through the information. And if you catch somebody just constantly being wrong and not even like really saying anything about it, I don't trust it personally. Sierra Bayer said, do you think Trump is in cahoots with liberals? I don't know what happens in the White House. I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of that as far as who he has to work with, what he's doing. I don't know. You could make a discernment for yourself, but to get to the White House, and there's probably sacrifices you have to make at a certain point to get to that position. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell, I think. Someone said, what can we do to help? Well, it depends what you mean. I mean, enjoy yourself, have a good day. But to get back to what I'm talking about here, and I'll get through some questions, this to me is a bigger deal than any of this political stuff. Obviously, Biden's just a nightmare with his executive orders, but I don't know. I think this is an interesting financial protest in a sense that goes way harder than the average protest. I want to read this. Eddie, exactly. Eddie said, sling enough shit to the wall and it's bound to stick. That's how they operate. That's the perfect way to put it, Eddie. And I know that's an old saying. You nailed it. It's not impressive to me. I mean, other people, maybe they're impressed by that, but I think the reason, there's probably a few reasons, but one of the main reasons my account took off is because people know they could trust me. And you should still question and check what I say, just like anyone else. But I think I've earned people's trust because I really crunch these things. And if it's fake, I won't post it. And I'll show you my thought process. I'll show you the video that I watched. I'll tell you, I'll put up 20 articles to kind of explain. I do the work to try to gain people's trust because I know I don't want to. These people, they're just slanging crap all over the place. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just saying whatever they think, whatever they feel with no calculation whatsoever. And some of it sticks because, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of it doesn't. So if you're batting 60% accuracy with your Telegram posts, I'm supposed to be impressed by that. And you're saying truth. It's not the truth when you're wrong 30, 40, 20% of the time. I find it wildly unimpressive, but some people, I guess that's what they like. People just flanging crap all over the place. Someone said, what are the stars? I don't understand the difference between like and love. The stars on Facebook are the same as super chats on YouTube. If you give me stars, I get money. That's what it is. But it's optional. I'm good. I don't need it. People like to do it sometimes, like on the super chats. I wish I could see them more on Facebook because we have more people on Facebook. For some reason, I don't see them all the time. And it's a balance. I don't really know what to do. I could figure it out. But with the stars and super chats, sometimes I'm talking. I don't want to lose my focus. But then sometimes people super chat. And then I want to read the super chat. Like someone just sent 50 stars. Joanne, thank you. I try to balance it the best that I can. I think I do a pretty good job, but I'll miss some quite often. Where can we find articles and videos about what you're talking about watching? So articles, if you search GameStop, AMC, you'll find all sorts of stuff. But as far as videos, I'm going to post the link later today on Facebook. It's USA products only. I have a section called videos. And I said, this is Anomaly's top 10 videos of the week. I'm going to share that and I'm going to post 10 videos. I have some great videos, the ones I played. I'll maybe even do more, but I have some cool videos. Even the lawyer one, I was talking about Sidney Powell. I'll post all that and I'll send it to you. So it's some cool stuff I watched this week. I got so many cool videos where, I'll try to compile them and get them in a nice place for you and post it later today. And A Mystery 605 said, how long do you think Q will keep this up for? Weeks, months, years? I think forever. Honestly, I think it'll never end because it's done in a way that it never ends. How could you end something when disinfo is necessary? That means if they're wrong, it doesn't matter. It's purposeful. So even though I thought, maybe most people election night would probably give up because obviously at that point it's not real. They can then extend the goalpost and say Trump is operating from outside. And if, they can go for 4 years and the next time a Republican wins, they'll say, see, we told you so. It's like it's a game of nothing matters. Everything is nothing. Nothing's everything. Up is down. Down is up. Left is right. Real is fake. Fake is real. Slang crap. Something will stick. So the people that are still into it after the election, they'll never stop. Why would they stop? If you sling enough crap, you'll get things right. And the second that they get things right, people will say, "Oh my God, we did it. We're the smartest. It's us patriots. It's us digital soldiers. We made this happen." And then when it's wrong, they say, "Disinfo is necessary, Anomaly. You don't understand. You think we could just tell you what we're doing? Then how are we going to fool the deep state if they know what we're doing? It's secret, but it's so secret. We're saying it's never going to stop." That's why these people remind me of like heroin addicts. It's just like, you want to help people, but at a certain point, you just want them away from you because, if they're living in your apartment, they're going to drag you down. So I don't think it's ever going to end at this point. I think people are like permanently mind controlled by this stuff. How could it end when none of it even matters? It's like, say 1,000 things, and if 50 of them are right, people think that's impressive. Do you know how easy it would be to do that? Just post 3,000 different posts or 2,000 posts or however many, 200, 300, 500. And if you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, disinfo is necessary. I mean, even the lowest IQ political analyst could do that and be right at least like 50% of the time. It's shockingly obvious, but at this point, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So I just want them to leave me alone. Do I believe the media is a false prophet? Someone said. Yeah, oh, for sure. Beyond that, they're social engineers. They're filled with fear. They're filled with hate. They're filled with negativity and division. But here's the thing. I said it last live stream, but I want to repeat it because this is why I'm excited today about what's going on. I see a solution, or at least something that looks like it could lead to a solution. I'm focused on that because the media, I don't know if they're doing it because people want it or because they made people want it. So like I said the other day, on Rumble and BitChute, the top couple videos of every day are fake. They're hoaxes. These hoax people like Charlie Steele, X22 Report, they're getting top 2 every single day on BitChute. I don't care if people want to watch that, it's whatever, but how can you get mad at CNN? Oh, they're following fake news. So do you in a free setting. When you're allowed the freedom to watch whatever you want, I watch people that are very honest. They don't get that many views. People love a good fake story. So how could I really be that mad at the media? I think they're disgusting and awful, but it's up to us. This is personal responsibility. Stop watching CNN and it doesn't exist anymore. Stop buying their products in the commercials and they don't have any money. That's why I like this stock thing. It's like, it's actually, it's moving money. It's financial protest. It's shifting markets to the point where they can't ignore it. It hurts their wallets. To me, that makes way more sense than voting for somebody and thinking they're going to save you. It might help you a little bit, but as far as the media, are they a false prophet? Absolutely. But the top 2 or 3 people on right-wing websites that are completely free from Facebook, censorship, all that, people are still following false prophets. So maybe it's human nature. Humans love to be lied to. The average person wants to hear the comfortable lie rather than the inconvenient truth. And I think that's why, I'm focused on self-accountability this year. I think everybody wants to point the finger, but nobody wants to realize that they're the exact same person on the other side. That may be slightly more reasonable, but slightly just as easy to fool. If you want to stop seeing so many fools in the world, the first step is not being one. I think that's kind of the energy of the year. Do I have signal? No, I don't have signal. Someone said boycotting always makes sense. Yeah, financial protest and just groups of people doing something in unison to have an effect is always interesting to me. Someone said the SEC will investigate and charge along with the other Reddit users. That's the thing. I'm going to read real quick because, pumping and dumping is technically illegal, but I'll read it real quick. Hold on. Pumping and dumping illegal. So on Investopedia, it says investors should be pumping and dumping is an illegal scheme to boost the stock's price based on false, misleading, or greatly exaggerated statements. Pump and dump schemes are usually targeted. So I think in order to be a true pump and dump, it has to be a false, misleading, or greatly exaggerated statement. So if you say to somebody, the hedge fund has this much in it, if we bet against them, it'll go down. Technically, you're not lying, so it's not a pump and dump. I don't know. I'm not involved in it. I don't want to get involved in it. I'm not a lead guy. I'm not a front man. I'm simply just someone on the outside kind of just speculating on it and finding it very, very interesting as a person. But yeah, they're going to have a field day with whether or not this is a pump and dump. Technically, I think it's not, but anytime you mess with big Wall Street and the SEC, I would assume they might have a heavy hand. Someone said they banned Wall Street bets. GameStop is crashing. Wow. Let me see. So that Wall Street bets banned. Let's see. Wall Street bets banned. They banned it on Reddit. Oh, Discord banned the server. Wow. Okay. So while I was live, Discord banned their server for hateful content. Now people are realizing, and this is another good sign, I think. People on the left, because this is not just right wingers, a lot of these people are liberals and progressives. Now you're finding out what happens when you really challenge the system. When right wingers, the reason that they hated right wingers over the last 4 years, whether people realize it or not, they were challenging the system, challenging the military industrial complex, challenging taxes, challenging the dual party system. You know, there was a lot of rebellion on the right wing. That's why the media hated them and us. It's not because, oh my God, they're racist supreme. No, that's just what they're going to say in order to get a bunch of liberals against them. So now you have a bunch of left wingers and right wingers, but a lot of left wingers who are challenging the hedge funds, challenging the stock market, and they're banning the entire Discord server. They're going to ban the places that you congregate. This is Big Brother. This is what they did to Trump supporters for 4 years. And this is what they did in order to stop all this. So people need to learn this on the left wing. And hopefully this is a wake-up call. They were never mad at Trump supporters for being racist, white, whatever. They were mad because they were organizing against the system, whether they, were completely on it or not, enough to be a threat. So I think this is a rude awakening for the left. That's what they do. If you want to do a physical protest that they don't agree with, if it's against the system, they can call you a terrorist now. If you're going to do it on a Discord server, they'll take your server. During the lockdowns, they were closing Facebook groups, making it impossible to organize because organized people are a threat to the system, to Wall Street, to the banking industry, to the Republican Party, and to the Democratic Party. So now the liberals get the treatment that we've been getting for 4 years. And that's what they're going to continue to do. The second you wake up from this delusional COVID-induced, hysteria where you think they're secretly trying to help your health. Yes, it's a real virus. Yes, take precaution if you want to be safe, but the ends don't justify the means in any of the stuff they're doing. The amount of domestic abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, suicides, opioid abuse, physical, people getting fatter. Do they justify? Is there so much pro side to the lockdowns? I don't think so. I guarantee you when it's all said and done, the science won't say that, but they can say any study. They can ignore it for 8 months. Joe Biden gets into office. All of a sudden, they realize what we've been saying for 8 months. These people are full of crap. I hope liberals wake up from this because the second you organize against Wall Street, against the banks, against the big business, against social media, and the second you realize what they're really doing is a control scheme, all this stuff, all with these liberals and Biden and the World Economic Forum, they want control. Maybe you think they're going to help you. Maybe they will, but I don't think so. I think they love power. They're control freaks. The second you don't give them your tax money or you want to opt out, they're all up in arms. Their tentacles want to be in every aspect of your life, controlling everything that you do. And the weird part about the liberals and progressives is the control ends up being them taking your money or them stopping you from making money. That doesn't help you. So I hope this wakes up a lot of left wingers because I know this is a bipartisan movement. Naomi Pickney said, thank you for loving God and loving people enough to speak the truth. Thank you, Naomi. Someone said, Carrie Mullis, I got you, woke. I'm not going to, they try to censor stuff like that. So I see your super chat, but I don't speak on things I don't know. I don't speak on things that, I don't want to read it right now. Wow. That's interesting. They took out the Discord server. Interesting. Yeah, now we'll see what they really try to do. Will they try to charge the guy who ran this whole operation? I don't know. Can people find a new way to congregate? Are they going to start using, now they're on Discord, are they going to go to Telegram? Is this going to make the movement stronger? Is this the end? Is the stock going to crash, or is it going to rise because people are going to get ticked off and go even harder? It's going to be interesting. Let's see what GameStop's at. GameStop stock, I mean, it's only down 16%, and it was up 138%. So I wouldn't say that's that big of a deal, but I don't know. Once again, not a financial advisor, just reporting, just interested and intrigued in what's going on. But, some people made money. Some people are going to lose money. Someone in my chat made some. Very interesting. Victoria said, did they even send in the military when people were plotting to storm Area 51? LOL. I don't think so, but to me, that was a setup. That seemed like the normie thing. When you have Joe Rogan, the media, they're all talking about it. No offense to Rogan, but I'm just saying, it's like, to me, that was like the normie, like, oh, we're going to go find the aliens. Like, it didn't seem organic to me. It didn't seem like a real threat. It seemed like the media and the bigwigs were in on that. Like, that was the diversion. Like, don't pay attention to what we're doing. Just talk about Area 51. And I think Area 51 is suspicious, but it's so old. I'm guessing anything that they had there of value, they probably moved out 30 years ago, but I have no idea. Yeah, it was like it was like an internet normie joke that went too far. Reddit banned Wall Street bets too. Let me see. Reddit bans. Did they ban them? I don't see it banned yet, but I don't know. They banned the Donald on Reddit. When they banned the Donald, they said, oh, the Donald is quarantined. They quarantined the Donald before they quarantined us in America, but then they removed the Donald, and I'm sure a lot of left-wingers were like, yay, the Donald's gone. Guys, this is the trick. This is the trap. And I'll tell you, if you really study communist history, and I'm not the biggest expert on it, but I know more than the average person because I read some of it, but it seems like and people like Yuri Bezmenov, who really has like one of the best speeches I've ever heard on it. But they go for each other. The disillusioned socialist, the disillusioned communist, the disillusioned leftist, the leftist that wakes up to what they're really doing is almost in more grave danger than the conservative. The conservative most likely in this country is armed. The conservative most likely in this country is detached from these things, or at least aware of them and has their eyes peeled. It's the liberal that's in on all this stuff and the progressive that's in on all this stuff that is probably going to be the most at danger when things really turn, because these are your people, this is your team, and you don't realize that all they want is power, money, and control. So as soon as the disillusioned socialist thinks, wait, it's Wall Street getting the money, I'm not getting it, you're never getting any money. You think when they shut the economy down and Jeff Bezos makes a killing, you're getting that money? You're never getting the money. You're never getting Karl Marx's money. You think Karl Marx was going to give you money? It's in the Communist Manifesto, if you read it, it's the consolidation of power, consolidation of banking, consolidation, total control over transportation or transport, total control over mass media. That's what it's about. It's not about giving you money. So as soon as you realize that, there's a moment that every liberal or socialist will figure that out, because at a certain point when it happens and they don't get what they thought they were going to get, they become, as Yuri Bezmenov said, disillusioned. So this is a wake up for left wingers, I think, on censorship and what happens when you actually challenge the system. Challenging Trump was not challenging the system. Being against Trump was the most normie thing you could do. In the way of the media. If you were against Trump for Operation Warp Speed or the anti-Semitism bill, now we're talking, now we're cooking. If you were against Trump because you thought that Orange Man bad and Robert Mueller was your hero, the George Bush FBI director in 9/11, it's a little bit goofy. You know what I'm saying? So these normies are in for a rude awakening, because challenging Trump is fine, but the way that you challenged Trump was literally exactly what the system wanted. Nobody was threatened by your Orange Man bad. Stephen Colbert. I watched Stephen Colbert and Trevor Noah, Orange Man bad. Yeah, you are not challenging the system. Oh, I'm challenging Trump. It's me, Amazon, Wall Street, everyone. It's all of us versus Trump. That's the least for the people movement ever. You'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. And we'll be nice. We'll be nice. It's the same with the Q people. It's like, listen, when you stop running and chasing the carrot, it's open arms. For the people who pushed it on people, I'm a little more critical. I need to stretch a little bit. Sorry, folks. It's a workout show. It's not a financial show. We work out here. We're getting big here, folks. 2 Jack for the, someone said, I'm going to read this real quick. It's pretty funny. Someone said, I'm going to tell my kids Anomaly is Don Lemon. That's actually really funny. I'm not Don Lemon, but I think if you tell your kids that, it is quite funny. Someone said 2 based. Listen, it is what it is, folks. We're out here having a good day. We're learning. We're gaining wisdom, knowledge. I got a nice view. I'm trying to take it in before the sun sets. Let's see. 2 Jack for the Gulag. My song is almost mixed and done. I mean, if you want to end that way, we get 2 Jack for the Gulag. The good part about this song, too, is like every time it plays, I want to work out. I guarantee it's like the opposite of a lockdown. Lockdown makes everybody fatter. My new song just makes everybody more jacked. Every time you hear it, you just want to do push-ups or something. You get what I'm saying? So, I have no shame. It's like the anti-lockdown. You just get jacked every time you hear it. But my song is almost mixed. It's going to be out in a week. I recorded it. It's actually You Could Be Done. I don't know what you mean. Oh, Don? I could be Don Lemon. I could. Anyone could be Don Lemon if you put your mind to it. No, just kidding. There's only one. What is this? All right, I'm gonna play it. It's not out yet, folks. I don't think there's any curses in it. Maybe I say the word shit. I apologize, but I already said it in this live stream. But it's not done, but it's almost mixed. I'm gonna play it real quick. This is my new song, 2 Jack for the Gulag. Instead of crying, instead of complaining, instead of saying, oh no, we're doomed because Trump's not here, we're going to get stronger and smarter and wiser, and we're going to get 2 Jack for the Gulag. So if the Gulag comes around and they got the Gulags and they say, who wants to go? We're going to be too big, 2 Jack for the Gulag. And all the left-wingers who said, we're going to censor you. Oh, you're a white supremacist, even though you're Puerto Rican. This guy's 100% Latino, but I'm just going to pretend like it's white supremacy. Whatever. All those people, you're going to go to the gulags because you didn't realize you were censoring all the people who are going to save you. You hate your dad because he voted for Trump. Meanwhile, your dad cuts wood and you just sit in your room with Starbucks. You guys are going to go to the gulag and we're not. Okay, so this is my new song. It's not out yet. It's not done, but it's almost done. 2 Jack for the Gulag, folks.
You already know what it is. A lot of people try to say, oh my God, you should be so scared. Pushing fear just like the media, just on a different side. I already told them. I'm about to get 2 Jack for the Gulag, it's alright. I'm only 2 Jack for the Gulag. I ain't getting caught like I wasn't getting a school tag. AMC wanna put me on to the food stamps, but I don't want
government to make the move yet. Blind to remove that pandemic flow like it's coming out of Wuhan. I just raise the price. Stay away, you humans. But if you want beef, I'm serving up the Wu now. Way 2 Jacks for the Gulag. I don't trust y'all like I don't trust the moon man. If you talking MTV or not loot, not a more than show. They see me like a true man. Get what I'm saying? Everything is zoomed in, left, right, trapped. I said it like a crew man. I be too good at rapping. Not to do this. Got 600 million views without the music. The First Amendment, that's for my mouth. Second Amendment, that's for my house. I get why you want to take both, but I ain't going out without a bout. I ain't going out without a shout. Talking shit like boxes for the clout. I don't want your money or attention. I just want to get my message out. I'm way 2 Jack for the Gulag. I ain't getting caught like it was a game of school tag. AOC want to put me onto the food stamps, but I don't want government to make the move yet. Can't decide if I want to blind or remove that pandemic flow like it's coming out of Wuhan. I just raise the price. Stay away, you humans, but if you want beef, I'm way 2 Jack for the Gulag. I don't trust y'all like I don't trust the moon man. Is he talking MTV or La Luna? Not a more day show. It's looking like the crew. Get what I'm saying? Everything is zoomed in, left, right, trap. They set it up like a crew, man. I be too good at rapping. Not that dude that's got 600 million views without the music. Hey, messing with me, y'all don't really want to start. I got soul and spirit in my heart. My mind faster, sharper than a dart. I ain't got a heart. Americana, I'm a legend. I'ma stay until it's heaven. I would rather go out on my feet than have to bow down to the devil. I will not settle. We were some immigrants, now we some very, very lucky citizens. I know they want to come militant, taking taxes off my dividends. I got the infinite. I know they feel me in Michigan, even Alabama into it. I just say roll tide, we gon' win again. I got the Michelin, man, I be different. Sink up and steady hinting it. Gulags for the dissidents. I am a true man. I stay vigilant. I do not wish for the militant, but I have to say it's so close. It feels intimate. They move the goalposts like an instrument. I will not go slow to imprisonment. I'm way too fast for the gulag. I'm way too fast for the gulag. I don't look good in a do-rag. God is great, might sell a new hat. Hey, my work ethic is an earth stretcher. Y'all ain't heard records like I serve better. Then my throat choke like a... Y'all are so gross like a burnt breakfast. Jack for the gulag. It was a game of school tag. LC want to put me on to the food set, but I don't want government to make the move yet. Can't decide if I want to ponder or boom that pandemic flow like it's coming out of Wuhan. I just praise Christ. Stay away, you humans. But if you want beef, I'm serving up the Hunan. Hey, way too fast for the gulag. I don't trust y'all like I don't trust the moon man. Is he talking MTV or La Luna? The more they show, it's looking like the Truman. Get what I'm saying? Everything is zoomed in, left, right, trap. They set it up like a crew man. I be too good at rapping not to do this. Got 600 million views without the music. 10 and the Second Amendment, that's for my house. I get why you want to take both, but I ain't going out without it. I ain't going out without a shout. Talking shit like boxes for the clout, but I don't want your money or attention. Tanning on a cruise to Panama till my skin darker than Camelot. Keep it too real for the camera. Y'all a fantasy like a Camelot. I said tanning on a cruise to Panama till my skin darker than Camelot. Keep it too real for the camera. Y'all a fantasy like a Camelot. I'll be out.
I'm telling y'all, don't mess with me this year. Stay in your lane. Don't be out here pushing psyops and disinfo. All my brothers and sisters, this great country, you feel me?
I'm not playing this year. It's a good pump up song. I just put on half a pound of muscle mass just listening to it. Someone said I don't understand rap. I'm too old. It's okay. Thanks for being here. I'm not playing this year. Last year I played a little bit. Oh, you want to play a game? We'll play. You want to play? I'll play. This year I'm not playing. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. Too jacked for the gulag. Excuse me. It's coming out. I don't know. It's not done in a week, in 2 weeks. 3 weeks, I don't know, soon. Got to get album art for it and stuff, then do a video, but I'm not playing. I don't even want to get into it right now, but I see people taking shots. I know rappers, the rappers rap. Oh, look at Anomaly, he's doing that. He can't do it. It's like, listen, we're running circles around you. I make a video about God. I don't even have to rap. Make a video about God. Now that's out to, I didn't want to do this, but they started saying, oh, he can't even do this anymore. He's out. No, we're getting too jacked for the gulag, folks. I didn't want to have to do it to him this year, but at the same time, I had to do it to him. So that's just where we're at, folks. Someone said to make a Trump rap part 2. I don't know, because Trump's got to do something to get a I like Trump part 2. It's just not happening. I don't dislike him, but it's like, you got to do something. You got to, if he he's like, what's the name of the groundhog? Punxsutawney Phil. Punxsutawney Phil, he comes out and he comes out and says, summer's going to be 8 weeks or whatever. And then he goes back in his hole and you're like, thank you, Phil. I've been looking for this. He's got to pull a move like that. Cause right now Trump is Punxsutawney Phil. He's hiding right now from the public. And I get why. What a stressful job. Golf, hang out with Melania, hang out with Barron, play chess. I don't care if Trump doesn't talk for another month. He earned his rest moment. But the thing I'm saying is, when he comes out to the public like Punxsutawney, is Trump going to say, is he going to have a game plan for the people? Or is he going to just be like, Operation Warp Speed, okay? Operation Warp Speed, I saved billions of lives with my lockdowns, okay? If he does that, no more Trump songs. In general, probably no more Trump songs, even if he does something cool, because I'm not a Trump rapper. I don't just I like Trump. I made the song. I like Trump. It is what it is. But if he comes out and says, Operation Warp Speed, okay, I'm a lock. It's like, then no more song. Maybe I'll delete it off Spotify. I don't even care. But that's on him. Hopefully he comes out like Punxsutawney and says, I have a plan, okay? And then it's a great plan. No more lockdowns. And I'm like, that's my guy. But if he comes back and says, Operation Warp Speed, okay, we need to go faster. Get these vaccines out to the people, okay? It's like, no more. I'm glad he did that in a way, because that's what stopped me from going to the Capitol, among other things, but I didn't like it. He's talking about election fraud, Operation Warp Speed, every morning, Operation Warp Speed, Operation Warp Speed. I'm like, I get it, bro. You and Bill Gates sitting in a tree, Moderna, Moderna. I get it. You like Moderna. Bill likes Moderna. You know, people's grandmas like Moderna. Some younger people like Moderna. That's cool. You know, you want to get it, knock yourself out. You want 1 shot, 2 shot, booster shot. They're talking about a 3rd shot. Do what you got to do, but don't force it on me. Explain to people that it's an mRNA vaccine. Talk about the liability that they don't have, and then we can move on. But it's, you know, it wasn't for me. I didn't want it like, oh, come to the Capitol anomaly. We need you. I'm not going for a vaccine salesman. I don't feel like going. And I'm not trying to be mean. That's just how I felt. I was like, I don't want to go. I'm not inspired to go. If I'm inspired, I hop on a plane and I fly there tonight. Okay. You can't stop me. If you're going to be selling Modernas left and right, I'm like, listen, I'm going to sit this one out, Chief. You guys go at it. And then people ran in and got the feds. Everybody's getting feted. The FBI showing up at everybody's houses. I'm just here getting jacked. I praise God. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for giving me the discernment to not go to the Capitol. Because all my friends that went to the Capitol, or all these people that went to the Capitol, they're all getting arrested by the feds and getting the FBI to come to their house. I don't need that, okay? I got 99 problems. The FBI is not one of them, I don't think. So, you know, if a police shows up and says, hey, how you doing? I say, hey, officer, God bless you. Thank you for your work. I don't need the feds at my house, folks. And this thing is just riddled with feds. Thank God he was selling Modernas, because if he wasn't, maybe I would have been there. I don't know. I'm not the Capitol type, though. I don't like DC. I remember one time someone tried to book me in DC and they said, Anomaly, we're doing this march in DC. I'm not a marcher. Do I look like a marcher? January, February, it's not March yet. I'm not a marcher. I said, the only way I'm going to DC is if I go to the White House. And I got invited to the White House and I went to DC. I don't like DC. I don't, no offense. Great people there, Abraham Lincoln statues, whatever. Besides that, I don't like it. I don't like being there. I don't like the politicky feel to it. I don't like the fact that it's like half, douchey people with suits on being like, bye, 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 bye. And then it's like, just like crackheads and homeless people. I don't like it. So I don't go to DC unless I go to the White House. And that very rarely happens, but it did happen. I went in, I went out, I stayed at Trump's hotel, and that's it. I'm not a marcher. I'm not a professional activist. I'm not flying to DC to just march and get arrested by feds. It's not happening. Thank God. I have the foresight. I'm like, this smells fetty, okay? It's like confetti. You hit the piñata, a lot of fetties in there, a lot of feds here. I don't want to go. Thank God. Someone said, I met you at LA and Blexit. Yeah, exactly. I went to Blexit. I go to, I was at some of the curfew protests. I'll go. If I feel good about it, I'll go to the event. I lived in LA. I talked to Candace. We had a little back and forth sort of thing. And then she called me and I was like, don't do that. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then she said, I'll book you. And I said, okay. And then I'm at like, what is it? Blexit. And then I'm at Blexit. Had a great time. Good time. Met a lot of people. If it's right, it's right. If it's not, it's not. I'm not like flying all over the place. I'm not like, I'm going to fly to Georgia in March. I'm like, I don't know. I do want to go to Georgia, though. I want to go to the Georgia Guidestones. I want to see those. Those are interesting to me and creepy. But someone said, we are China. Wuhan is still partying, guys. There's reports of Wuhan. They're at nightclubs. Why is Wuhan at a nightclub and we're shut down? We'll end on a good note. I do think because of how much was taken from us, I think when we get it back, we have to be grateful. The next time you get to go to a coffee shop and there's not people dressed like a zombie, it's a beautiful thing. You appreciate when it rains. It's sunny every day, right? It's always sunny. It's always sunny. And then it rains and then it just gets ugly for 2 weeks. Then you appreciate the sun again. So I think when the sun comes out again in America, that's going to be the silver linings. We have to appreciate it. Be grateful every time you go to the grocery store and don't have to get a jab in your arm or, an angry mask lady screaming at you. And maybe it's permanent. Maybe these people are never going to stop. I don't know. But if it does open up and the sun comes out and they leave us alone in July and August and, you can go places that you couldn't go already, let's be grateful. Let's be appreciative. Next time we can go to a club or something without a mask on, enjoy yourself. Because that's what I'm going to do. I already don't go places, but it's like I'm limited to my own little system. It's actually not that bad for me. I'll be honest. And then I got to go. I work so much and I do so much in my home. I kind of lived like a pandemic even last year. I didn't mean to, but like I'm doing a 2-hour live stream. Okay, I'm editing things. I'm doing a video. I put out a video. I edited the video for 3 hours last night until 12:30. I wake up at 5 a.m. I put the video out. You know, I live a weird life anyway. I lived in a pandemic already. I didn't mean to, but it's like I don't have a normal life. I'm ordering Uber Eats. I don't get out enough. Then they did it to the whole world. I'm not happy about it. It's awful, but I've always just kind of like the day's over. It's 6:30. I'm done and it's over. I'm like, that's why I need to go on cruises. That's why I'm mad. They took away cruises. That was my one getaway. I'd say, you know what? I need to take a break, drop everything, go on a cruise. If they don't bring cruises back, folks, okay, I'm giving the system, do what you got to do. By 2022, cruises better be fully back, no more masks, or else me and a gang load of grandmas are going to be furious, okay? Capital F, furious, okay? I'll find every grandma. You think I don't have access to grandmas? Get a grip, okay? Look at my Facebook page. Of course, we got the average demographics 25 to 34, but I have thousands of grandmas, and grandmas love their cruises. So I will peacefully, don't get me wrong, peacefully, because I know the feds, the FBI, they're all over this stuff now after the Capitol set up honeypot trap. But, me, 10,000 grandmas lined in a line, taking Instagram pictures, peacefully saying, open up, or, we're going to peacefully do something. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm just throwing it out there to the universe. I don't want to have to do that. I want grandmas to just do their own thing. But if I have to get a gang of 10,000 mostly peaceful grandmas to peacefully and respectfully stand our ground against the cruise line industry, it's a possibility. That's all I'm saying. Nothing is off the table. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully you learned something about the stocks. I know I did today. And today I'm going to post on Twitter and on Facebook my top 10 videos of the week. And I don't know if they're all from this week. Most of them are, though. I'll share with you some cool links about the lawsuit and Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani. You could learn a little bit from an unbiased perspective about what they're really going through, and just some other stuff about the stuff I played today and such. Pretty good info on it, and we'll move from there. So I'll share that link on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for being here, y'all. I'll be back. And to anybody who's on Facebook, real quick, anybody who's a supporter on Facebook, if you're not and you want to have tomorrow we're doing a private live stream, because that's just what I do for the people who support on Facebook. They give like $4.99 a month or something, and then we do that. And now that Facebook gave me my stuff back, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I think at like 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST. So if you want to be a part of that, you can sign up. If not, just don't. It's optional. But I'm just letting people know because I forgot to let the supporters know we're doing that tomorrow. But thank y'all. I'll be back soon. And yeah, that's what it is.